explosion has been reported at Iran's Lavan Refinery, and the source of the blast remains unknown. Now, this is as per the Iranian media. Iran's Mehr news agency has reported this blast, but the source of the blast is not known. Blast at Iran's Lavan Refinery reported by the Iranian media. Remember, this comes amid the temporary truce, amid the ceasefire that has been announced. It's a big claim, a massive claim coming in from the Iranian media. However, it's important to note here that the source of the blast is not known. But there are images that are doing the rounds already. Images that have been put out by the Iranian news agency. Iran's Mehr news agency claims that a big blast, an explosion, has been reported at Iran's Lavan Refinery. But no confirmation, no information on the source of the blast. The source of the blast remains unknown. A 2-week ceasefire, remember, has been announced between the US-Israel-Iran war that was taking place. Now, amid the temporary truce in the war, there is a big claim which is being made by the Iranian media. Remains to be seen how the situation unfolds, because the source of the blast at the moment is not known. Now, let me in fact go across to Abdullah Abu Shawesh, Palestinian envoy to India, joining us in the broadcast. Thank you very much for giving us your time. I would like you to first tell us about your reaction, your thoughts on the temporary truce that has been announced.
Thank you so much indeed for having me, and many thanks, to, of course, to Time Now at large. Indeed, when it came to the war and or the ceasefire of the war, so as a rational people, as rational ambassador, as a Palestinian, as any representing anyone who's rational one or from all around the globe, any type of ceasefire, any type of ending this devastating war will be, should be, and must be very welcomed from each one of us. But the question is, are we in a time to end the war or just to have a ceasefire? What we are looking for as a human being, as Palestinian, as everyone, believe in peace and security and shared human future. We look forward to end the war. The war, to be very frank, from our point of view as a Palestinian, the war was not started only 38 days ago in the Middle East. The war was started in November 2nd, 1917, when the United Kingdom, British at that time, issued the Balfour Declaration. In that declaration, they pledged, they gifted our homeland to the European Jew. At that exact day, the war in the Middle East was started, and we look forward to end the war, not the battle. What happened just in the last 38 days is another round of battle in the Middle East. We are looking for to end the war, and by ending the war, we, the Palestinians, believe that end the war in the Middle East mean that bring the justice and to the Palestinians.
But have you seen how Israel has responded? Israel says that the ceasefire does not include Lebanon.
No, it's not only include Lebanon and not include Gaza. Even the ceasefire that Israel signed and agree on it 3 months ago was not implemented. Just 2 days ago, the ceasefire, or what's so called the ceasefire, harvested another 10 of our loved ones in Gaza, so that for Israel and for the current fugitive from justice, the Israeli Prime Minister, who declared himself that we will continue to be like Sparta. Sparta is the place or the country or in the history was lived on the war and lived in the edge of the sorrow. So that Israel, even if the ceasefire had happened with Iran, it will not apply it in Lebanon or in Gaza or in West Bank, because in West Bank there is another war launched by Israel, and it is devastating armed Israeli terrorist settler who is launching tens of terror attacks against the Palestinian people in a daily pace in West Bank. So that the war for the Israeli current Prime Minister and Israel at large is something very essential. Especially we are a few months ahead of the election itself, and it is part of his assets to win and to back to rule Israel.
And what are your thoughts on the Strait of Hormuz? That certainly cannot go back to how it was before the entire war started. Now, Oman has just issued a clarification saying that they are not going to charge any fees because they are part of global maritime agreements, and Iran certainly is not.
No, I think Oman was from the very first ever time, and even before the eruption of this war or battle, as I used to call it, Oman and the Arab at large was playing a crucial role. Oman was not intended or was a good mediator, but unfortunately the American and the Israeli caught Oman, and not only Oman and Iran and every single one who was believing that we are in the negotiation table, or that both the parties in the negotiation table and they are very close to having a deal. But then, unfortunately, Israel and the United States of America launched the war and turned it back to the negotiation table and to Oman itself.
Now, how do you see India playing a big role as far as peace in this entire region is concerned? Sorry to interrupt you.